So we have our server once again installed. We have all the roles needed on it. The active domain controller, the active domain services, DNS, and DHCP. We added our additional storage. Here it is. What we need actually, we did it already. The drivers we copy and paste them here. Now let me show you from where I took them. I open a Windows 7 machine. Windows 10 machine. And because my real machine here is Windows 10, I'll show you right away on it. Okay, here it is. You go to Windows C, you navigate to Windows subfolder, and then you go to System 32. Here it is, System 32. Now there are two choices here. You go drivers, and everything what finish with sys, starting from the fourth one, you see these are the files, to the end, you copy and paste on this folder, okay, which I just did. The other one is to go a folder below which says driver store. You click twice, and actually in file repository you're gonna see folders of all of this which we just saw in the previous subfolder, but they're already extracted. Okay, so there are two ways to do it, either this one copy or the other one which I just showed you. Now the proper way to do it in the production environment, is to find out all the drivers you need from the provider, to install it on the specific hardware, and afterwards to go and to take them. Now, because we are working on the Windows, on the Oracle's virtual environment, basically what I need these drivers to be only for Windows 10. But basically they're the same like for Windows 8.1, like for Windows 7, and so on and so forth. Once again, because we're working with Windows with Oracle's VirtualBox. That's why. Okay, but that's the way I extracted these drivers, and that's the way George did that. Okay, and afterwards you just need to put them into the hard drive you created, because we're going to use them now. The other thing we need here is the image of the Windows 10 itself. That's why I asked you to copy and paste to your desktop. Now what we're going to do, the easiest way to do it in the VirtualBox once again, is go to the devices, go to optical drives, choose a disk image, and just add it. Well, that's this one on my desktop. In your desktop it will be with the same name. Then click open, and it will show you, here it is. It will ask you to tap and then choose open the folder to view files. You need to open all of these folders, all of these files to be seen. So what you do on the storage again, you just right click, you do new folder, and you create ISO folder, okay, for me. And I just copy and paste all of this. So choose all of these folders and subfolders and files and just paste them here. So it has been downloaded. So basically what I have at the end, when I click to this PC in my server, I see my storage drive, which is the extra one. Okay, I see the drivers of Windows 10, which I just copied, all the drivers, and I see the ISO image of the Windows 10. I just open as a CD and I paste all of the, here it is, it's still here. Okay, and I don't need anymore this CD. Eventually I could eject it. Okay, I'm gonna eject it. I don't need it anymore. So these are the prerequisites I need to fulfill before I start. And once again, I need the active domain services and this one to be a domain control. It's not necessary though, but it's a good thing to do. The DNS server and the DHCP server. All of this is on. The next thing I need to do, I need to implement another role. So I'm going to click Add Roles and Features. And I'm going to need to implement the WDS or Windows Deployment Services role. I'll click Next here. The IP address, okay. I'll click Next again. And I'm going to find out the WDS somewhere to the end. Here it is. Windows Deployment Services. This one I need. I'll click on this. I'll be prompted for additional features to be installed. I say yes when you need. Install them. I'll click Next. I don't need additional feature than this one which they're supposed to be put it. So I'll click Next on this. I'll do Next. Now, these are two servers which will be installed. I would suggest you guys both of them to be checked and choose both of them like that. okay? And obviously we click on the restart button if restart needed to be done. And I'll click install. It says to me installation succeeded on the user, the name of my computer, okay? What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna just click close, okay? And basically I'm gonna see the service here at the bottom. And of course I could access the service once again when I go to tools. All of these services I could access when I click on tools, and I found them here. Let's find it here. It will say Windows Deployment Services. So when I click on this, it will open its own window, and I could do management stuff on these services now. Okay, I'll open it on the whole screen, and I just open to see. If I click on the name, you see Windows Deployment Services is not configured. So I'm going. So how to do the setup? You go to the machine name on the servers on the Windows Deployment Services. Once again, to get there, you just go to your server manager, tools, and you find out WDS. Here it is, Windows Deployment Services. And you click on it, and it will open this thing. Now right-click on this, and you do Configure Server. Right-click and do Configure Server. What you do here basically is next again. Do next.
Even if we don't have a download file, we can do this.
You could do it now. Yes, you could do it even if you have now the files now. Yes. So you see it says integrated with the Active Directory, and it says also a standalone server. As you see, there are two ways, but because I already integrated the domain service, I'm going to use the first one. So once again, it's next only here. Now this is a little bit tricky. A remote install won't be installed on C drive, okay? I'm gonna find out the letter of my drive, which is G, you see, letter G here. So I'm gonna just click in front, I'll delete C and I'll put G instead, okay? And I'm gonna click next. And if I go now and check it here, well, after finishing the wizard, it will be there. So don't uncheck this one. This one are important. When the DHCP server is on the same computer where the WDS or Windows Deployment Services also is, these two options are supposed to be there. Okay? Well, actually this one, the proxy. Okay? So I'll click next. The next one is where you need to click. You need to click respond to all client computers known and unknown. Because if you say do not respond, you know, I'm gonna try to install something and there will be no service. Okay, so that's an option. Also, there is an option only to known client servers, so I need to introduce them first. And here there is an additional option, which I'm not going to choose, require administrator approval. So someone's supposed to approve this, this deploy. For now, we're going to choose the less secure one, once again, because we would like to see how it works. So respond to all clients' computers, known and unknown. And I'll click next. Confirm request in a timely fashion. I don't care. I'll click finish. You see my server. If I see here on the picture, it has the stop button here. Well, there is no problem. I just right click, all tasks, and I'll do start. So I just redo the service start. Now it says successfully started Windows deployment server. I click OK, and as you see now it's a green button. And if I click once again here, you see the remote install has been installed. And you see it's in a manner like it shows below the name of my computer. It shows a kind of folders. And if I click on remote install, well, basically I'm going to see almost the same folders. And we're going to go through this and we're going to check it afterwards. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the storage. Okay, now for the people who this is the most important part. We go first the boot image. Well, you could do it differently. That's the way I'm working. So follow my way. But if you would like, you could do it in a different way when you are a little bit more proficient, let's say. So what you do, the first thing, you go to boot images. Okay, you go and click on the boot images. And then you right click and you do add a boot image. What I'm doing now, guys, I'm adding the boot image from which the clients will boot from the network. Okay, I'm preparing this thing. I'm gonna click browse. And I'm gonna go to my storage drive, which I implemented. I'll go to ISO, where the image of my Windows 10 resides, and I'm gonna go to sources subfolder, And at the bottom, you're going to see two Win files. Okay, boot.win and install.win. Because I'm going to create the boot image now, from which I'm going to boot from the network, I'm going to click boot.win. I'll click open. Okay, then I'm going to do next. Now it's asking me how to call it. Well, I'm going to call it, give this boot image a different name just to recognize it. It will be Windows. I'm going to click inside. Windows 10 Enterprise. That's the Enterprise evaluation. And it's a 64-bit. Okay? And the description of the image, I'm going to just copy and paste the same. You could put more descriptive if you would like. Here it is. Well, actually, I could say here boot, just to know that's the boot image. Okay. I'll do next. You see, it shows the name, how it will be, how it will be done. I'll click next, and basically it will extract now the boot image from the Win file. So once it's done, I'm going to click finish, and here it is. My image is here. Okay. Now, what I need to do next is to extract the drivers. Here's the drivers. If I click on the drivers folder, there are two subfolders. One pre-installed subfolder, driver group, and all packages. You see all packages. Now I'm going to go to drivers. I'll click right, and I'll do add driver package. Although I could start also a driver group. You see, but I'll start add driver package. Now it says select driver packages from an in file. I have no such thing. I have select all driver packages from a folder. So I'm choosing this. And I'll do browse. And as you know now, I'm going to just go to my D drive. Here it is, G drive actually, storage. And I'm going to choose driver Windows 10. Okay. If I would have more, if I would have installed now the Windows 8.1, I would have go to Windows 8.1 obviously. Okay. I'll click OK. Basically, it's not only for the operating system, it's also for the architecture. If it's 32, depends as well, or if it's 64, as well as for the provider. Asus, HP, Dell, Compaq, so on and so forth. So you need basically to create subfolders to any one of these. Okay? And I'll do next afterwards. Okay, so guys, just for this, what I did once again, because it's very slow, the network, I just added my C drive. Here it is. I added as my real machines, my virtual host C drive. I added as a shared space, and afterwards I'm using, because it's Windows 10, I'm using the drivers from it. For you guys, I'm gonna copy it tomorrow to be able to do it. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste. For now, I just would like to show you to do the movie. Okay, so I see all the packages here now. Okay, I'll click next. I will be prompted if I would like to remove some of them. I'll click next again, and it will take some time now to add the driver. Here what it says, Windows Deployment Services could not add some of the packages. I'll say okay, and here, well, you see for me there are 540. Well, that's not good too. But anyway, I'll try at least. Okay. Now it's asking me where to put them. It's asking me to create a group. Well, I could select an existing driver group, the driver group 1. For me, that's okay. But I could create my own if I want. I'll click next. I don't modify this group now. I'll click finish. Okay. And my drivers are there. Now what I need to do is to go to the boot image again. I'm going to see my boot image. Right click on the boot image and do add driver packages to the images. Okay, to the image. So the drivers which I just downloaded, I need to add them to the image. And I'll do next. Now, because these are filters to find out all the packages available, this filter here will prevent me to find out. I'm just gonna click on it and I'm gonna remove it. Okay, and then I'm gonna click add. Actually cancel. Search for packages. Search for packages, and it will find out all the packages now. Okay, I'll click next after. It will repeat again. I'll do next, and they will be added, I hope successfully, to my boot image. This one, it's good. If only one, it's for the USB drive or whatever. Well, we'll try without this one. I'll click finish, and I'm almost done. The last thing I need to do is to go to the install image, right click, add install image. it will ask me for to create a group. Well, I'm gonna choose here Windows 10 Enterprise, Windows 10 Enterprise Evaluation, and it will be 64, and we'll say install, because that's the installation image. And I'll click next. I need to point again to my ISO, wherever I copied the file, on the sources, if you remember. And this time, instead of boot, I need to click on install Vim, click open, click next. It will find out the real name. That's what it is there on the disk. I'll click next again, and I need to wait now. While I'm waiting this to be done, basically I could prepare my my hard drive on which I'm gonna do my computer on which I'm gonna do this. So I'll do new computer. I'll write down, let's say, test. I'll call it test. Of course, I need to choose the version appropriately, which will be Windows 10 64-bit edition. Here it is. Whatever it's giving me, I'm going to choose it. I'm going to create the virtual hard drive. Okay, I'm going to choose a little bit bigger, let's say 64. VHD is okay. I'll do create. And here it is, the machine. Now, on the settings, there are two very important things, like with the CloneZilla before. The first thing I need to say on the system, I need to say boot from the network. Okay, so I'll choose network, I'll check it, and I'll put it on the first place. And the second thing I need to do on the network itself, to change to the network which I am at the moment, which is internal network, and my attached interface there is eNet1. So it's supposed to be on the same one like before. Now the other thing, let's say here I could do bidirectional. It won't work before the guest edition though. On the display, that's okay. Storage, I don't need to do anything. I just need this test drive and so on and so forth. Share drives, I could share some folder. I could share my desktop, even though once again, when I install it, it won't be the guest edition there, so it might not work. So I'll click C, let's say here.
Wait, hold on, sir. Boot order is going to be what now?
So once it's ready, I'm just gonna wait until the Art Image Wizard finished. I'll start. Well, basically, we forgot to finish the installation of the WDS, the final steps, and I'll show them, and then we're gonna start the process of deploying. Okay, so my install image has been done. What I forgot you guys to show you, I need to go to this one and click properties. This is my computer name within the Windows deployment services. Basically, this is the finishing of the setup which we did in the beginning. So Pixie Response we already did. This one already did. Active Domain Services, well, it will be the same domain as the Windows Deployment Services server. They're on the same one, so we don't touch this. Boot, here we need to do something. Continue the Pixie boot unless the user press escape. So you're gonna see where that will play. We need to change here on the fourth tab. We need to change to the third option on both, for non-clients and for unknown. I'll show you. You're gonna see it. DHCP we did already. TFTP we don't touch. The network, you see, it will be UDP. We don't touch this. Advanced we don't touch as well. We already did it in the beginning. And the multicast here. This will be the IP addresses. It will be multicasting. Here's something else we could do. Separate clients into 2 sessions. Why we do this? And I'm gonna click OK. So these 2 things. On the multicast, you need to click, let's say, the third one. And when you go to the option of the sorry. And this one, sorry. And here on the boot as well. That's all. So we click apply now. We wait a little. So my server is done. And I'm expecting, I'll click OK here. And I'm expecting now, if I start the machine, I'm going to start the test machine which I just prepared. Okay, it will boot from the network. That would be the first device. You see, it's looking for the DHCP now. Okay, it's looking for a DHCP server. Let's see. So we just wait. Here it is. It's starting. It found the server, and it's contacting it now. If you remember, if we click escape, it will. And here it is. It's starting the deployment now. I mean, the boot image now. It's deployed. Okay. It will boot from this image. Okay. Change the mood. So here it is. It's starting. It will look a little bit different than the normal setup because eventually we do less stuff here. Yeah, that's supposed to be your user, administrator user. Normally we create an additional user. So I'll click here next. Now you put your domain. My domain is test. You put the backslash administrator. Normally, once again, you create a user which is supposed to be for deployments. But in my case, in our case, we haven't. You put the password for this guy because it will contact the server now. And I'm seeing this image, guys, now. I'm seeing the install image. You see the same name here. Okay, and I'm gonna click next. Well, that's like before. I'm seeing the empty space which I designated for this. I'll click next, and the deployment starting now.